What's going on, you guys? My name is Tommy, and today we're going to be answering some of my most asked questions. So without further ado, let's get right into it and hop into the first question. How did you scale up once you got consistent clientele? To be honest, the way I scaled up is just by continuing to create better work. I'm a firm believer that referrals are always the best form of getting business because most of the work has already been done for you, right? So I work with a lot of people in the same industry, and they also have a lot of the same type of businesses. So it's easy for my name to, get around to different people. But the number one way that I scaled up once I got consistent clientele is I started to, cut off jobs that I didn't feel like serviced me, and I would pass them on to my friends or other people that wanted those opportunities. So I would say for you, if you're trying to scale up in your work, just continue to make great work. Another thing you can also do is make creative shoots, which is where you get a model, a makeup artist, or pretty much what you do is you go out and you try to create the work that you're looking to get hired for. If you have any more questions on that, I do have a video on that you can go check out on my channel. Next question is, when are we getting Luts for log footage? So my Luts for log footage are actually coming very soon. They're probably going to come around January, February 2024. And the reason is I've been working on them. You guys are going to see. I'm going to play you guys a little intro clip right now, a little preview, 1-2. But, I don't want to rush this. I don't want it to be some type of LUT that you guys just use once and then never use again. I want it to be something that you guys can actually incorporate to your workflow. So definitely wait on it. They're coming soon. They're coming so soon. What would you say is something you want to get better at? Marketing. Most of my skills are where I want them to be. I can get a little bit better, but I think the major skill that I'm lacking is marketing and just mastering social media in itself. That's definitely one thing I want to start learning and mastering in 2024. So I'd say that, and if I was to go give an answer that doesn't have to do with work, I would have to say I want to become a better driver and just like a better automotive person. I love cars. That's like my second passion. Being out on the actual racetrack will definitely humble you. It's nothing like you've seen. People on TV make it look like it's so easy, but I promise you it's not. So if I had to give an answer on something I want to be better at that doesn't have to do with work, it'd definitely be a better driver and just better in the automotive industry. What made you start photography? To be honest, so back in college, what I would do is I would always take pictures of my friend, and it wouldn't be like for photography. It would just be, I just like taking pictures. So I would take pictures of my friend. I'd take pictures of sunsets. I'd take pictures of cool buildings, and I would do that, and I would, start editing them from time to time, but I never took it seriously. And so, I would just do it for fun. I just started to look into Photoshop, and I started to learn Lightroom, and I started to learn, okay, this is how you edit a photo, this is how you retouch. And from there, that's when I started to build a passion, just to build a desire, a hunger to get better and better at it. And so from there, that's pretty much how it snowballed into what it is today. It's just from I had interest at first, and I just desired to get better. And that's really what made me start this photography journey. Did you go to school for photography? If not, how did you learn? To be honest, bro, I'm definitely self-taught. So a lot of questions and a lot of things I was confused about with photography, I taught myself. And I'm not saying this to say that I'm dissing on anybody that goes to school to learn photography, but what I will say is that I feel like trial and error is always going to be the best teacher. So I'm grateful that, I learned all this stuff on my own, and I'm grateful that I learned all this stuff on my own so that you guys don't have to. If you guys have questions about photography, videography, and if you're getting stuck, that's also a reason why I created this channel and I sell the digital products in my store, like ebooks and guides and stuff like that, is because I've already went through the process of going through all that hard stuff, having those questions, wasting all that time in studios and stuff like that, so you guys don't have to. So if you guys do want to learn, some extra tips that you guys can't find on my YouTube channel, definitely check out my digital store. I have a studio photography ebook if you guys really want to dive deep and master studio photography. At times you feel discouraged. How do you keep yourself motivated? To be honest, I keep myself motivated in times of discouragement just by knowing that I'm not where I want to be yet in life. And so I know that to get to where I want to be in life, I can't stop. I can't give up. I know there's going to be bumps on the road. I know times are going to always get tough, but I just remember that, it's just a part of the process. And I know I'm not at the finish line yet. I know where I want to be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And I know if I quit now that I'm never going to get there. So that's really the biggest thing that keeps me going. So I got a good amount of people to ask, are there any pointers or tips you would give someone about starting? To be honest, I'll just tell you to start. Like a lot of this photography stuff, a lot of things I learned is just a lot of trial and error. So if I could just give you any tip, it's just to start. If you're starting out, just start shooting. Just hit up friends, hit up people in your area, people in your city, and just start creating, start shooting. That's the only way you're gonna get better. You can watch tutorials online, you can go to classes, but none of this stuff is actually gonna benefit you if you don't go out and try the stuff yourself. You're gonna be in the same position, you're gonna be always looking at your camera, thinking, oh my gosh, how can I get better, if you guys don't sit down and go out and actually start shooting. So the best pointer or the number one tip I could give you is to just start working, just start shooting and keep shooting. Of course. What is your greatest accomplishment? That's a good question. I think my greatest accomplishment is just being able to sustain my lifestyle and do what I do without having a job. Like I can have my apartment, I can record videos like this for you guys, I can travel, I can have fun with my friends, I can go out, I can do nice things for myself, and I don't have to necessarily work a job. And that's something I worked very hard on, and that's something I'm very, very grateful for, because I know a lot of people can't say that. And so if I had to say my greatest accomplishment, I would definitely just say getting to where I am now in life. Do you have an all-time favorite shoot? If I had to say an all-time favorite shoot, I don't know if I can say an all-time favorite shoot, just because every shoot is so different to me. But if I had to say one of my favorite shoots I've done recently, hold on, I'm gonna get the photo. Excuse my etiquette, I still need to get it framed, but it's definitely this image right here. From the makeup work to the hair to the lashes to the model to just the skin tone and the retouch and everything. This is definitely one of my favorite photos I've taken very recently. So this is probably like my favorite photo that I've captured this year. I know I still got to get it framed. Y'all got to excuse me. If you weren't a photographer, what other career would you pursue? That's a good question. If I wasn't a photographer, I think I would be selling crack. I'm playing. If I wasn't a photographer, I'd either be an accountant, or I'd either be like a mechanic or like a handyman, or I'd start like my own business where I worked on cars. That'd probably be the two options, yeah. What would you consider your niche, and how did you set up your business model? I'm a commercial photographer and videographer that specializes in work for luxury brands as well as beauty and wellness brands. I actually developed this business model earlier this year by reading this book. I'll try to link it in the description below if I can remember the name. But basically, the idea of it is that you want to set up your business model. So easy to where you can hire anybody to duplicate it. For example, if you think about McDonald's, they can hire a 16-year-old fresh out of high school, or they can hire somebody that's like 55, and you guys will get the same results, same product anywhere you go in the world, anywhere you go in the country. So you want to make sure that your business model, that you follow certain steps and follow so that it's easy for you to bring somebody in and duplicate whatever you're doing. So a lot of questions I get asked is, if your schedule allows, are you interested in a mentee shadowing you? And I actually get this question like almost every day from somebody, and I really appreciate you guys for reaching out. I don't have something right now set up for you guys to shadow me. If I'll be honest, I have a lot on my plate, but I will say I'm going to be creating a community where you guys can come and you can learn and you can talk about pretty much whatever you got going on. It's going to be dropping very, very soon. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Tommy.4K. I'll probably be announcing it there first and then on YouTube. Can we get an apartment tour because the vibes seem immaculate? Thank you. You know, my spot is pretty nice. If you guys really want an apartment tour, let me know down low in the comments. I always thought about doing one. I just didn't know if you guys would be interested. So if you aren't interested in doing that, drop a comment down below. What system do you recommend for photo and video, PC or Mac? And I will always stand 10 toes on you going and getting a Mac. Just because the workflow is so seamless, like being able to record something, like recording a video on my phone and being able to airdrop it from my phone to my laptop or vice versa, I feel like that's a feature that I could never trade off. So if you're looking to get into photo and video and you want to know what I recommend a Mac. do not get in a PC. That's just me. What motivates you? What motivates me is like my family and the people around me. They're the ones that like keep me going. I really do this and I really continue doing this not only because I really enjoy helping people out. I love seeing the comments when people tell me that they've tried my setups on work and they're loving the results and it's actually making them a better photographer, creator, videographer, whatever it is that they do. But I would say my purpose past that is just, letting people know that if you've been in situations like I have before, that it's possible to come out and be on top. Like a lot of stuff I do it because I want to create a better life for them. Things ain't always been easy, but I'm grateful for how far I've come and my life today. It wouldn't be possible without them, so I'm really grateful for them and I want to make sure that one day they're completely taken care of. So I say my number one thing that motivates me is definitely my family. Other than that, I'm just chasing the best version of me. If I just be honest, I know that 5-10 years, I know who I want to be, I know where I want to be at in life. And so every day I wake up, I'm writing down notes, I'm creating a plan, I'm accomplishing goals because that's where I want to get at in life. So that's what motivates me. So next question is, for 2024, will you be more consistent with vlogs and tutorials? And the answer is yes. More consistent. You guys can expect the schedule from me very, very soon. I'm just, still working out the kinks and making sure it's something I can really commit to and make sure that I'm consistent with for you guys. So in 2024, you guys can definitely expect way more consistent videos from me. Was that the big whiz in the previous story? Oh yeah, yes, the answer is yes. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, recently I put up a photo of WizKid that I shot a couple years ago when I was shooting for his concert here in Atlanta. And if you guys want to check that out, here it is. And yeah, it's a beautiful photo. It's one of probably the favorite image that I captured of him that night. It was amazing, 10 out of 10 concert. I'm a huge WizKid fan, so it just makes sense that I got a photo that reflects one of my favorite artists and put it into my space because, you gotta have a space that reflects who you are. So how do you juggle fun and work? To be honest, it is very, very hard. It is very, very hard. There's often times where I'm just so deep in work that I wish I could have fun. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes where when I have fun, when I'm going out with friends, sometimes it feels like I'm doing something wrong just because I'm kind of addicted to work. Crazy enough these days. But if anything, I learned to really delegate and prioritize what is important to me. So if I'm out having fun and I'm spending my time with friends or family or with somebody who I really appreciate, then it's something that I feel like I should be doing. Like, I'm not gonna spend my time wasting any time if I know that I could be sitting at home working, creating YouTube videos, editing, whatever. So if I'm spending my time doing something that's not work, then I just make sure that it's something that's gonna be worth my time. Like, I'm actually gonna be enjoying myself. So who is your dream person to capture? My dream person to capture, I'm not gonna lie, I just seen that Renaissance movie. If you guys haven't, make sure you check it out. But Beyonce and LeBron and Obama are definitely my top three. Like, those are my top three: LeBron, Obama, and Beyonce. Beyonce, if you guys haven't already seen that Renaissance movie, make sure y'all go check it out. Or whenever it's on Netflix, make sure y'all go watch that. It's such an inspiring movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. So, or if you're just in the need of some motivation, definitely go watch that movie. I promise you, 10 out of 10. What were some of your biggest challenges as a photographer and how did you overcome them? So to be honest, what I'd say is some of my biggest challenges as a photographer, I would say I didn't really have anybody to kind of exactly show me the ropes and like how to get from starting to where I was at to where I am now today. A lot of this stuff has pretty much been self-guided. I didn't really have anybody to show me the ropes. And I would also say another big issue is just like being a black photographer. I know it doesn't get talked about a lot, especially on YouTube, but I feel like being a black photographer, brands and other businesses, they look at you a certain way. I think that's just another struggle that I just had to work through, and I don't think that's something that gets talked about enough on YouTube, especially with it being not that many black photographers. I try to make it a point in my work and on my channel to make sure that I work with black models or colored models, just because a lot of lighting setups and just a lot of work, it's great to see this stuff, and I'm not bashing anybody else on YouTube because they all do great work, But I think it's just so much better when you can watch somebody's channel and you can relate to them and see that, okay, this person looks like me. Okay, this model looks like the models I actually work with. And you can see that this is stuff that, our people actually like. So I would say the biggest challenges as a photographer was definitely just not having somebody to show me the ropes, and also just being a black photographer. What motivated you to reach where you are today in your career? Oh, and your work is top 5. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, same as before, man. Just what I've learned too is there's no exact answer for like what motivates you. Everybody's different, but what I can say is just being a disciplined individual, because there's days that you're not going to be motivated. There's days that I don't want to film YouTube videos. There's days where I don't want to edit, I don't want to work, but I know that I have to be disciplined, and if I want to accomplish something, that I have to go out there and do it. So don't look for motivation, create discipline. How do you build clientele when starting out, or methods to get clients? The easiest way to build out clientele is just by creating great work that people want for themselves. So if you want to be a sports photographer, then try to go to your local football games, your local high school games, hit up, just people that play sports around you, and ask them if you can photograph them. From there, you'll create free work that then people who would like to pay for you to do that for them, or who want that for themselves, will start to contact you. And so that's definitely the easiest way to get clientele, and to then start developing a consistent clientele. I'm scared of shooting in public. How did you get over that fear? To be honest, I just had to learn that, people really don't care. If you're scared about shooting in public, just know that the only people that care are you and your fears. Other than that, nobody really gives a fuck. Just get over that fear. It's gonna always be there. People are always gonna look at you. Go out there and record yourself. How do I get celebrity clients? To be honest, I exactly didn't follow a certain way to get celebrity clients. That's just something that I was blessed with. And so if I was to tell you what I'd say the easiest way to get celebrity clients is to work with people that work around the celebrity. So if I want to work with Drake, you're not gonna hit up Drake in his DMs. That might work, a 1 in a million chance that he sees that. But in actuality, if you want like a realistic process of how to get celebrity clients, what you should be doing is contacting the people that work around that celebrity. So if I want to work with Drake, I'm gonna hit up maybe Drake's road manager, or I'm gonna hit up Drake's photographer, or I'm gonna hit up like Drake's videographer, or somebody who works around Drake, maybe somebody that manages his clothing line. And by that, you're gonna start to get in that space and in that area to where, okay, you're gonna start opening doors. And if your work is good and if your business is good, then eventually you're gonna work with that celebrity. That's just how it works. What do you see yourself doing in 2024? I see myself, one, getting to this YouTube channel to 100K and getting my Instagram to 50K. And so I'd say that's 2 of my goals for next year. And other than that, I just see myself continue to be great, continue to work in my faith and work in my purpose. Something I'm looking forward to doing next year is not working with every single person that hits me up. I only want to work with a select few people, from month to month. That's definitely what I'm looking forward to doing next year in 2024. Photography content starter pack suggestions. That's a great. Number one, I definitely say is this microphone right here, this DJI wireless mic. This is definitely one of my favorite purchases of this year. I use this all the time. Like, this is my go-to microphone. The quality is great. As you guys can see, I'm recording like right into the microphone. I don't have a microphone hooked up to me. All I have is a small little dead cat on this, and the quality is outstanding. It records internally, so you guys don't always have to worry about carrying around a cord with you. And there's just so many features in this microphone that this is definitely something I highly recommend. A 24-70 lens is something I recommend, and also a Aperture Amaran 150C. That's definitely one of my favorite lights that I've purchased this year. It's very inexpensive if you're thinking about prices for quality lights. I highly recommend the Amaran 150C. If you want to get a deeper look into how I use that, you can check out my last video. How is it to balance life working with models while dating? That's a good question. To be honest, it can get difficult at times if I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. One thing I've just noticed to learn is that you just have to date a very confident woman. It does get difficult, and if I was to say anything that I've learned over this time of having to, deal with working with models while dating is you have to do two things. You have to make sure that you reassure whoever you're with that, nothing is going on, that you're a professional, that, you conduct business and that's all it is to you. Yeah, that's how I'd say it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. I've definitely come across that a good amount of times, but yeah, you just got to be great at reassuring, and you just got to, make sure that, you stand on whatever you say. How can I try out different cameras and find out which one works for me? I'm limited with money. So this is actually a great question, and what I would tell you to do is honestly hit up places like lensrentals.com. What they do is they have different lenses and cameras on their website where you can rent from, and you don't have to pay the full $3,000, $2,000, whatever the camera and lens might cost. You can rent that camera or that lens for a fraction of the price, and you can get to test it out, see if you like it or not. That's something that I do personally. I get all my equipment that I'm trying out for you guys, or I'm just trying out for myself, from aperturerent.com. They're a place located here in Atlanta. They also have different locations like throughout America. I think there's one in Dallas and one somewhere else, I'm not sure, but they do have one here in Atlanta. So you can schedule a pickup from them. You can pick up so many different cameras, so many different lenses, so many different lights, so much different equipment, and you can rent that for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, for on and on, however long you want. And they're great. Customer service is great. So if you're looking to try out a different camera and just to see if you like it without having to drop that bag on that camera, try aperturerent.com. And so that's it for you guys. That's it for today's Q&A. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys leave me a like, share it with somebody you feel like needs to watch this video, leave a comment down below. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.